Alrighty then, I'm going to talk to you about my pick for Citizen of the Year, Ron Durbin. Now, well, everybody out there says, Ron who? Who's he? Let me tell you folks, we've got a lot of great Oklahomans. Most of them don't get a lot of notoriety, recognition for what they do. This man Ron Durbin, I spent some time with him. He had no idea he was being considered for this distinction. Sooner Politics has finally decided, starting this year, we need to honor a Citizen of the Year. And I can't think of anybody better than Ron for it. And let me tell you why. Because of the chronic health conditions that are affecting so many of our elderly, baby boomers getting older, arthritis pain, so deeply, deeply disabling. The severity of the pain. You've got people fighting cancer, and the chemotherapy is ravaging their digestive systems so deeply they can't hold any food down. They can't keep their weight. They can't keep their strength because they're trying. They're trying, but they don't have the best tools. You've got veterans coming home from second, third tour of duty in the Middle East, and they're having flashbacks, night terrors. Families not getting any sleep. They've got PTSD, and it's bad. In fact, it's getting so bad. Just this last year, up in Owasso, a woman is married to a veteran who's doing terribly. She's having to be the breadwinner. She's away from home, gone to work, trying to keep the lights on and food on the table. She asked the local police, can you do a wellness check? Go check on my husband. Here's the address. Well, this one went badly for the Owasso police. They bang on the door. They yell loudly at police. It throws this very, very fragile man into a psychotic state of panic, terrors, and he grabs a gun and comes to the door. When the shooting was done, the veteran was dead at the hands of 2 police officers. It's sad. It's sad for our police. They're not mental health professionals. But you have veterans at an alarming rate suffering PTSD, and our VA has no better pills to give them than a bunch of tranquilizers that turn them into zombies. Catatonic. It's horrible. It's horrible. And a lot of veterans are refusing to take them because of the side effects. They need something calming. I just described 3 of the more prominent and more common roles of why medical marijuana was passed by the people in Oklahoma. We've got chronic pain that the opiates aren't working anymore, or if they are working, they're probably dying of overdose because the more you take them, the more you have to take. The more your body gets resistant to the effects of them, and in order to get the pain blocked out, you keep taking more and more, and eventually some people turn to street drugs because their doctor cut them off. Well, now we've got a wonderful state law that says these pain management doctors are probably going to go to jail if they don't start cutting people off. Right now, the CBD oils with THC, yes, that is the psychoactive ingredient, the synergy of those 2 chemicals in cannabis medicine are bringing great relief for people with chronic pain. People like my mother, maybe your mother, maybe your father. We've got people with fighting cancer that are losing weight like crazy because of the chemotherapy, because they're desperately trying to shrink those tumors. They need help. They need help. We've got veterans with serious mental health issues. Okay, I made my point of why we have this medicine. Unfortunately, not everybody likes it because they're afraid somebody might abuse it, as if they don't currently abuse the hydrocodone and the other opiates that your local drugstore has been giving out left and right. Ron Durbin is representing the patients of Oklahoma. Yes, he filed a lawsuit against the Board of Health. Yes, the Board of Health was absolutely wrong. Yes, the Board of Health was way outside their constitutional limits when they made additional laws, restrictions, and rules when we the people had just decided to get rid of a bunch of the rules that no longer served the purposes of Oklahoma. Ron was successful against the Board of Health. As a result, the Attorney General stepped in to save a lawsuit from having to go any further. He told the Board of Health, "You're way outside your limits." Ron won that at the Board of Health. Within a month, we had sensible rules so people could begin to get their health cards, see their doctors, develop an alternative treatment program, and start getting well. Then Ron had to start facing city after city after city after city. Yes, Ron took, for instance, the city of Broken Arrow to court. The city of Broken Arrow had so many rules that were way beyond both the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. He took it to district court in Tulsa, and a judge ruled not only in his favor, but before they even heard the case, slapped an injunction against the city of Broken Arrow from enforcing it. They held the case. The judge ruled for Ron Durbin's client. Broken Arrow was told to stand down. Well, Broken Arrow didn't want to stand down. Broken Arrow now is taking it before the state Supreme Court. We're awaiting any day now a ruling of the state Supreme Court on this issue. If so, it will become the precedent-setting case in Oklahoma on how you treat cannabis medicine. The laws pretty clearly say you treat this just like you would your local pharmacy if you're a municipality. If you got fire codes that apply to your Walgreens drugstore, they apply to the dispensary. If you've got a business license that every commercial business must pay for and get, that same business license should apply to the dispensary, but not at any higher rate than what the drugstore pays. Any of those rules, any of those extra stipulations, setbacks, additional zoning requirements that go outside the scope of the law, outside the scope of a municipality's right to enforce and add additional requirements, which really don't exist in this law. A municipality doesn't have a right to do it unless unless the statutes specifically empower them to do so. The language of this law expressly does the opposite, specifically tells these municipalities what they can't do. Ron Durbin and I talked this week, and it was great talk. Finally, I said, "Ron, tell me, how are the funds going? You know, the people that are paying for this lawsuit, are they able to come up?" He looked at me in shock. He said, "There's nobody paying for this. This is all my pro bono work." He said, "I can hardly even get people to pay the filing fee on some of these court actions." He said, No, this is because I think it's the right thing to do." Now, who is Ron Durbin? Ron is a native of Mississippi. When Ron came to Oklahoma, he thought he had left the political chapter in his life behind. See, Ron was an associate to a number of notable elected officials in Mississippi. His Republican background brought him in contact and working relationship with people like Haley Barbour, the former RNC chairman, Trent Lott, some of the congressmen. No, when Ron came to Oklahoma, it was to practice law, his civil law, and Ron said it was the most unlikely thing. A friend of his asked him to proofread a proposed state question, and Ron ended up writing a number of things in it. Now, that state question ended up not making it to a ballot, But that's what got Ron involved. So yes, Ron does have a number of clients in medical marijuana businesses, but much of what he's doing right now, he's doing on his own. For that reason, Ron Durbin is our Citizen of the Year, and that doesn't take away from all the great things you're doing, your neighbors are doing, and people in your community are doing. There are many good people could have easily gotten this recognition, but Sooner Politics chose Ron Durbin.